What's up, guys? I am showing you today how I made my rolls. This roll is coconut raisin rolls. Now the thing about making your rolls is that you can play around with your filling. If you know, I have showed you before how to make your cinnamon rolls, and it is pretty much the same procedure, same ingredients. My butter is of course melted, and to my butter I am going to add my eggs, and I'm going to make sure I mix this properly. Then my next step is to add my milk to this. Whole milk is recommended, but what I used here was half almond and half evaporated milk. And I was experimenting to see how good it would work out, and it actually did. Now to this I also added my yeast and regular. You just mix this together, get your ingredients incorporated together, thoroughly mixed. Then I set that aside and went to my dry ingredients, and that's just the flour and of course salt and some granulated sugar. Combine this together before adding my wet ingredients, and I am going to work my dough on my surface, of course. So I'll add my wet ingredients and incorporate that, then remove it from my container and add it to the counter. Of course, make sure that your counter is floured, and then you work your dough until it comes together. So working your dough takes about 5 minutes, anywhere between 5 to 7 minutes tops, right? So after this dough is only a one-time rise. So like when you make your donuts, you allow your dough to rise, then you deflate, and then you roll, and then you set to rise again. That's not what is happening here. This is a much quicker method, simpler way, and you get the same result. So work the dough for about 5 to 7 minutes, as I said before, and then after this you roll, and then you add your filling. Like I said before, you can play around with the filling that you use. You could have just gone with simple coconut, that would be sugar bun, and you can even add nuts to this. So let's say for example you have your coconut in this, you can probably add some cashew, some almonds, some peanut along with the raisin, or just with the coconut. So you can play around your filling with your filling. This is one of the things I love most about making your rolls. So that is it. As I said, you roll your dough and you add your filling. Now my filling is just the coconut and of course some raisins, and to pep up my flavor I add a pinch of salt to this, and of course my sugar and some nutmeg. Mix that together, and then you just add this to your dough. Before adding your dough, you add some butter, and this is gonna take probably about 2 tablespoons of butter, and you just spread that on your dough, and then you add your filling and you roll. Now guys, if it's the first time you're being here, thank you so much for being here. If you've been here before, thank you much for being back. Please remember to give my video a thumbs up, help to support my channel, let my video go out to other viewers, and don't forget to subscribe if you've been here. If you're just joining me, sorry, I'm all over the place. Remember to turn on your post notification bell. That's what I wanted to say. Remember, we're not in a perfect world, so I'm not gonna always get this thing right. So after you roll, you cut into your dough, and this is where you're gonna leave your roll to rise. So you leave this for anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes, and that's it. After which you pop this into your oven, and you bake for about 15 minutes. After 15 minutes time, I added some butter, and you can go butter and sugar, but what I used here was the butter and honey. If you have agave and you want to avoid the sugar, you can also mix the agave with the butter, and that's it. Complete, and this was moist and delicious. Thank you so much for watching. Please look out for another video, and until next time, bye.